Hi guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be reading some more scary stories. As per usual, I have my wicked candle here and I have my hot chocolate candle here that smells absolutely amazing. I smelled something horrible today. I literally went to the store and I bought pepperoni a couple days ago, well, yesterday, and I opened it this morning and it was rotten. So that scent is like stuck in my nose right now and it smelled like rotten eggs and it's horrendous. So I just want to sit here and smell this candle until that smell is out of my fucking nose because that was so gross. But I have a couple Instagram DMs that I want to read today, and I also have one really long one from Reddit that I want to read, and I'm really excited. So if you guys have any paranormal stories, scary stories, or let's not meet stories, or just creepy encounters in general that you want to share with me and have me read on the channel, feel free to send me an email or you can message me directly on Instagram, and let's get into the first scary story. So this one is from one of my Instagram followers, and they said, "Hi, my name is Jenna. I love your channel and I haven't missed a single upload since I subscribed. I feel comfortable telling you this paranormal thing that happened to me when I was about 9 years old. So when I was 9, we moved to a new house and it was me, my mom, my dad, and my twin. Me and my twin's room were downstairs, as well as the door to the garage and our parents' room, and everything else was upstairs. Now, for where things started to get spooky, I started having nightmares every night of a man named Jack. He was not really human, more like something that tried to be. He was tall, but it looked like he was stretched out, and he had long yellow nails, pitch black eyes, and a smile from ear to ear that had far too many teeth. Jack always had this little boy with him. I named him Joey. He was wearing clothes that were not from this time period, possible late 1800s to early 1900s. His clothes were very dirty and torn, and he always seemed scared, and he would never talk to me. He always just looked down. Jack, however, would always laugh, almost like a growl. I'd wake up every night screaming. Jack and Joey were always in my dreams. I didn't talk to my twin about it in fear of scaring them, but one time, one of our parents went out and it was just me and my twin. I should also mention my parents would always come with us to make sure every door was locked before they left. Everything was fine to start, and we were both in our rooms, and then I started to hear that laugh again. Jack's laugh, only this time, I wasn't dreaming. I got up and I went into my twin's room as calm as possible, and I thought I was just going crazy. We both were talking when I heard it again, only this time it was closer, and not only that, but my twin could hear it too. We both looked at each other terrified and ran upstairs. I grabbed a knife and they had 911 ready to go. Everything was silent for a while, and we both thought that maybe we were just imagining it. That was until we heard something open the garage door downstairs and slam it shut. Then we heard footsteps rushing up the stairs, but we couldn't see anything. Something was running towards us both though. We ran into our parents' room and shut the door. We didn't know what to do. I mean, what are 9-year-olds supposed to do when something that they can't even see is running at them? When we shut the door, we locked it, and as soon as we did, we heard the laugh again, and it was pounding on the door. This seemed to last forever, only ever hearing the laugh and the door shake, as whatever it was trying to get in. Then it all stopped, as we heard our parents open the front door yelling that they were home. We both rushed to them and hugged them, and we explained while sobbing what happened, but they didn't believe it was a ghost. My dad made sure it wasn't an actual person in the house, but me and my twin both never talked about it again. I still, at almost 23 years old, still have dreams of Jack and Joey, and my paranormal problems have only gotten worse as the time has gone on. And I said, oh my God, thank you so much for sending that. And they said that they're gonna send me some more. So they said, the next story happened when I was 12. I was still having nightmares every night and had been officially diagnosed with insomnia due to the nightmares. We still lived in the same house and I'd still see Jack, but things started to get worse. One night, I was getting ready to go to sleep and I had this uneasy feeling, the one you get like you know someone is watching you. I turned around to find that no one was there, but my little puppy bear. What was weird though, was she was also staring into the corner of my room. She had her tail between her legs, and she was growling at the darkness and backing away slowly. As I got closer to Bear, a snow globe that I had started playing. It was a twist up old snow globe. Then something pushed it off the shelf from back against the wall, and it shattered. I grabbed Bear and went to my twin's room and explained what had happened. He told me not to worry about it, that maybe it just fell. I think after what happened to us when we were 9, he decided to ignore all the spooky things that were happening. He still let me stay in there with him till I felt brave enough to go back into my own room. When I finally got back, that uneasy feeling didn't let up. but I decided to try to go to sleep. Then the first time I had sleep paralysis happened. I opened my eyes to see me laying in my bed, but I couldn't move, but I could hear everything. I fell asleep to music that was still playing, and I heard someone crying and screaming, but I couldn't see who. Then I saw a tall shadow, and I knew it was Jack. He was so close to me, he even started laughing, almost mocking me for not being able to run. Then I felt a hand go under my blanket, up my leg, and pull down fast. It felt like someone just cut me with a hot knife. I wanted to scream, but nothing came out, and then I had the same feeling go down my other leg. I could hear Bear whimpering and growling in her kennel, trying to get out, but I still couldn't move. Jack then bent over and whispered in my ear, "Jenna, I'll never leave." And that's when I woke up. It was early in the morning, but my legs were still burning. I looked down at them and I saw 3 long, jagged scratches up my legs, all the way from my ankle to just under my shorts. I cried as I remembered what he had said, that he's never gonna leave. I grabbed Bear out of her kennel and just held her till my mom woke up. I told her what had happened, and she grabbed sage to burn and a Bible she had me read chapters from. My mother thinks I have a demon that has bound itself to me for some reason. I don't know what it is, but he keeps his promises, and he has never left. Only more have come, and he's still always there. And that's all they said. And I said, holy shit, that is absolutely terrifying. Holy crap, I cannot even imagine dealing with that. That is so fucking scary. If anybody that watches these videos has any idea of what they might do to like help their situation, leave it in the comments down below, because I have no words and that is fucking terrifying. Okay, and I have another one from another Instagram user, and they said, "Hi, I recently started watching your videos, especially during load shedding. In my country, our power shut off for 2 hours or 4 hours every day. So I'm pretty much binging. I really love your videos and you're absolutely beautiful. And I really love your makeup and all your videos. By the way, happy birthday." Thank you so much, you're so sweet. I have a few stories to tell and I suck at writing, so I'm sorry if this doesn't make sense. You can put my user if you feel comfortable. I'm going to send the story separately because of Instagram. I'm sorry if the notifications annoy you. They don't annoy me. I love when you guys send me stories. Story number 1. When I was younger, me, my brother, and my mom used to play hide and seek. One time, my brother was it, and me and my mom went to go hide. It was night at the time, and we had no lights due to the load shedding. I saw a tall male figure walking up to me, and I thought it was my dad. So I ran to the figure, but when I got close, I saw it wasn't my dad at all. It was more like a shadow. Since I was 6 at the time, I started crying and telling my parents, but they didn't believe me. Story number 2. When I went to my friend's birthday party the next year, playing hide and seek again, I ran into this barn, and it was really dark. I went to the side that had a bit of light, and I looked to the dark side, feeling this weird feeling that I wasn't alone. I saw these green, yellow eyes, and I started screaming, and then the barn was locked, and it came closer and closer. My friend opened the door and looked at me saying, "Did you see it too?" Story number 3. My parents divorced, so we moved houses. As soon as we got to the house, I felt something that was really off. I was 13 at the time, and I started having sleepovers, and we would sleep in the living room. We would hear talking, knocking on the door, hearing steps on the stairs and the railing, and it just sounded like someone was dragging long nails on the railing. It continued like that for a while. Then me and my friend got up and we looked outside and saw a shadow figure. We snuck out to see who was there, and my friend's foot was sprained, so I carried her on my back. We saw a man and a son, but it was a shadow figure. We got scared and we ran up, and I had to carry her up since she was on my back, and I felt something grab my leg. I nearly fell over, and as I was falling, I looked to see the man standing behind me. I ran away, and we thought we escaped this, but when we took pictures in the background, you could still see it. Oh my God, that's fucking so creepy. Story number 4. I hate dolls, oh my God. I got a porcelain doll. I got possessive over her. Looking back, it was really creepy. I once was home alone and my painting flew off of my wall. I was taking a video and I watched it back and I could see it getting pulled off by orbs. Later that night, I slept with her next to me and I had the most horrible dream of dolls everywhere, and they were moving, walking, and talking. I could feel the anger. It felt like they were gonna hurt me. But when I woke up, my doll was moved. Story number 5. I was 16 by this time, 2021. I got into spirituality and I picked up a crystal that was in my garden. It was super happy because at the time I only had 3. So I was happy to expand my crystal collection. My mindset started getting negative, super negative. So I threw it outside, and the next day, it was underneath my pillow. I got scared, and I tried to believe the crystal had a reason to come back. So the next week, I was on a call with my friend, and we were talking about spirituality, and for the past week, I started feeling like twins were in the room. I had a big bookshelf that separated my room, and I looked behind the bookshelf, and they were hiding from me, but I could see their heads pop up. I then saw a young man, but they were all shadow people. But at the corner of my eye, I saw a lady with black hair and a green aura. It was so vivid. I looked back, and no one was there. I went back to my phone and told them what had happened, and I laid down while talking to them. All of a sudden, I felt this really heavy feeling, and I gasped for air, and my friends got worried, trying to talk to me, when all of a sudden, I looked like I was possessed, and I couldn't cry for help, I couldn't breathe. They started casting a spell to cast whatever it was to get out of my body. When it finally left, I finally got air, and I gasped, and I burst into tears. I saw I had bruises all over me. The kids and the man remained in my room for like a month until I moved from my room. Sorry that these were so long. I love your videos. Good luck with your channel. Oh my God, I'm so sorry you were dealing with these. These stories are so fucking creepy. Thank you so much for sharing them with me. And I would have left that house in like a heartbeat. That is terrifying. Oh my God. The next story that I'm gonna read is from the True Scary Story section, and it's from the Reddit author 4th Degree Night. And it's titled, Another Story from Back When I Did Crime Scene Cleanup Work. Some of my previous posts regarding my experience doing crime scene cleanup for work, or trauma scene work, as we called it, generated a lot of people messaging me, asking me to write up more stories from my past. I used to do this work in the early 1990s, and I ran into all kinds of situations, such as accidental deaths, suicides, fire death, explosions, homicides, unattained deaths, and pretty much any messed up situation that could happen inside of a home or a structure. One of my first calls when I started doing this work, it had to be around 1993 to 1994. It was to a really, really rich, fancy home. The home was located in a very wealthy area of Los Angeles, up in the hills, and it was a huge home with a lot of land surrounding the home. This was the first time I ever saw an elevator in a house. I never met the homeowner or actually any representative from the person who owned the home. The home was pretty much emptied out most of the personal contents prior to us arrival, so I didn't see any family photos on the walls. The home was so huge that you could get lost inside. Up to this point, I had never been inside a multi-level home, much less one with so many bedrooms, a game room, indoor pool, bar, dens, family rooms, basements, and I think a 6-car garage if I remember correctly. Holy fucking rich pants, Jesus. Anyway, we started to work on this one really late in the evening. It was once a crime scene, but by the time it was released to us, there was other damages that couldn't be explained. I assumed that the person was killed in the master bathroom, as there were some signs of trauma and some bullet holes in the bathroom shower and surrounding walls. Not much blood and that kind of stuff to clean up. So we thought that the person must have died in the huge walk-in shower. What was odd was that I don't know if the shooter turned on all the water faucets in the house because there was water damage all throughout it. Kind of like Home Alone Wet Bandit stuff. There were areas where we had to remove wet drywall, wet carpet, baseboards, wood flooring, wet ceilings, and cabinets. Since this was all over the huge house and my crew at the time were just about 5 of us, we split up doing different areas. The house was so big that you couldn't hear each other from different areas, even if you were screaming, but we carried around walkie-talkies. One of the issues we were dealing with was that at certain areas of the house, the lights were off. I think prior to us coming out, an electrician shut off power in different areas because electrical components got wet. We all decided that using the elevator wasn't a good idea, and we just used stairs and walking through the different areas of the home in complete dark. We thought about using our generator, but the house was too big and there were too many rooms, so we just ran extension cords. I remember 2 of our guys were working on the upstairs, I think you would call it 3rd or 4th floor, the area that murder took place in. And another guy was working by himself in what looked like a bar indoor nightclub area, removing wet cabinets and flooring. Another guy was working on a huge walk-in closet, tearing out wet carpet and drywall. I started working in the basement. There was some ceiling and walls that needed to be removed. The job was going to be an all-nighter because of the vast area and multiple areas of damage that we had to deal with. Also, everything that we removed that was damaged was a long trek to take out of the house and down the drive to our truck, adding in the time it took. So why is this a scary or creepy story? Well, imagine being in this huge home where a murder took place for one, but as we got through the night working, we started hearing and experiencing things. Our old radios would do a beep beep chime when someone was about to say something over the air. Since it was our only company that had these radios, it wasn't random interference from outside sources, and we hadn't experienced such things before. As the night went on, we were working and we kept getting alerts that someone was about to talk. We would drop what we were doing to listen, for after the beep beep, like someone was going to say something, but no one spoke. I was making my way with a trash can of debris out of the basement as I didn't want to make my trash can too heavy to carry out, and I made several loads. It was a summer night, so getting out into the cool summer air was also a benefit. One of these trips, I had to go up the stairs from the basement and down a long hallway. I believe to my right was an opening to a large living room type room, and to my left was some windows to the outside, but further down was a door that I needed to take the exit. One of these trips, the lights went all out. I got some light from the moon outside, but to my right, the rest of the house seemed unnaturally dark. As I make my way back to the truck, I grabbed a small flashlight in case this happened again. After a while of working in the basement area, one of my guys comes up to me and he starts chatting. I can tell he's nervous, and he starts on me saying, "Wouldn't it be better if we worked together? That way we can finish up areas quicker." I could tell he didn't want to be by himself, so I agreed, and honestly, I knew how he felt. At about 1 a.m., we all decided to take a break and meet in the pool table room and eat. We started exchanging stories about the place, mostly on how cool it was, but also how creepy, and all the experiences and random things that we've experienced. The house losing power, only for it to come on again in a different section. The guy that went on the upstairs part talked about hearing music, but couldn't find the source. I brought up that someone kept hitting the talk button, but no one did. We started coming to the realization that this job wasn't going to be completed that night. We talked about our options, and one of them was, since it was nearly 2 a.m. at that point, that we would work a few more hours and then sleep there. I, for one, wasn't into the idea of sleeping in the house, and I overruled it and said we'll work a couple more hours, then call it a day. The following day, we already had another job on the books, so we got home, rested a bit, and then went back at it. We got back to the big fancy house at about 3 p.m. That evening, we sent out one of our guys for pizza, and we kept working, and there was 2 of us paired up, and when the pizza came, we would take a break and eat and rest up a bit. I know this is drawn out, but for the things that happened next to this day, I'm not sure if it was because we were super tired and sleep deprived, or if something else was going on in the house. We decided the best case, so that no one gets too tired, lugging the trash out, we would split the duty, so one guy will go and then come back, and then the next guy would go and come back, and so on. Almost everyone heard music playing at some point in the house. I heard it walking down from the kitchen area to the long hallway, but it sounded like it was coming from another location of the house. Another guy heard it coming from upstairs in the master bedroom area, but when you got up there, it sounded like it was someone else. Okay, music, no big deal. One of our guys called us over the radio as he was making his way back from taking up debris to one of the trucks, and he said, "Hey, was someone over in the kitchen pantry room?" We were all saying no and asking why, when he said the door is open, and it wasn't before. It was about midnight at this point, and I was working in one of the extra bedrooms that had its own private bathroom. This area was down a long hallway that had a few other rooms and ended in a den-type area. I was with one of my guys, and we both jumped as we heard a loud bang. It sounded like something big and flat hit the ground, kind of like if you knocked over a large piece of furniture, and I got on the radio and checked with my guys, asking if they broke something, and everyone said that they hadn't broke anything, and no one heard it. My coworker and I sure did, and we went to go investigate. We looked around to see if maybe a picture fell from the wall, but there was nothing. On one of the last trips from the area, my coworker took the debris to the truck, and I was left alone in the room waiting for him to return when the lights went out. I was sitting there in the room in the dark. All down the hallway is pitch black, and for some reason, not even enough light from the moon. He took our only flashlight with him. So I started to make my way out of the room, going down to the den area that led to a larger open room, then from there to the living room and dining room, then to the kitchen. I started to see light from the pool table room, so I made my way over there, when those lights went out too. I got on my radio to call out that the lights on the second floor were out. I started to hear someone walking towards me from the living room area, so I thought it was my coworker. I called out to him, and I didn't get a response. I stood there in silence. Then I started to see a flashlight moving around, and it was a different coworker. He said that his area, the lights were on, and he heard me screaming. I didn't scream. I had only called on the radio. Just as we were talking, the lights came back. My coworker with the trash can and the flashlight came back in. On the last and final day, we go to finish, and I canceled our schedule so that we could finish this job in the light. No more evenings or middle of the night work, being in this house. After we were all done and started exchanging stories about it, the one guy said that he swears he heard me scream for him. I promise I didn't. Probably because I was frozen. The lights turning off and on was everywhere, and it wasn't an electrical issue, but someone messing with us. One of the guys said he went to use one of the only functioning restrooms, and he saw someone walk by, but when he opened the door, it wasn't one of us. One of our guys claims he heard footsteps in another room. We all heard music, and one thing about the music was that it was all different types. I heard what sounded like classical music, like Mozart. Another one said it sounded like country music, but he couldn't make out the lyrics. Another heard what sounded like what you would hear in a Mexican restaurant. We were all like, what the actual fuck is going on? And that's how they ended the story. So that is super fucking creepy. That is a really, really long story, holy crap. So we're at the 25-minute mark, so that's where I'm going to end the video here. But that is a really creepy story, and I don't think I would be able to like concentrate on like doing my job and working if there was constantly like interferences like that. Like the lights going out alone is creepy enough to make me not feel comfortable working by myself. Working by myself in that house would give me the heebie-jeebies alone just from the grandness of it. Like that's a massive fucking house. But like the fact that someone was literally murdered in that house and you guys are going in there like immediately to like clean up and fix the house, and then you start hearing and seeing all of these crazy things. Holy crap, no thank you. I would freak out. I'm a big chicken and I probably wouldn't have gone back to that house. You guys are so brave for actually finishing that job, because holy crap, I would not have been able to. That's so fucking creepy. No, thank you. If you guys made it to the end of this video, leave me your favorite emoji down below, or leave me a Halloween themed emoji down below. It lets me know who is actually watching until the end, because I like just seeing that you guys interact with my video, and I like talking with you guys. So if you guys leave me a comment down below, I'll definitely respond. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.